Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Belfield talking to my favourite people, the biggest stars in the world and some old friends. Russell Watson, how are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
Hey, it's great to see you again. I think the last time was 2011 that I saw you. I've spoken to you since. And what a few years it's been. Firstly, the question I always ask you, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Fit as a butcher's dog.
And you're feeling okay and everything's going great. And then, of course, I read in the papers, congratulations are in order. Big year for you.
Yep, got engaged to Louise. I think we're getting married in about 30 years from now.
Don't rush it. That's what I think. You know, before you sign the cheque, just make sure it's the right amount.
Yeah, it's we've been together 4 years, so normally you get engaged and then there's kind of like a mean sort of value gap between, isn't there? So I was thinking, 30, 40 years, and yeah.
Do you tell her every day she's a very lucky woman to have you?
Yeah. No.
And then when you wake up with a black eye, it is amazing though. I mean, I first saw you together, I think 2010, was it? Something like that. I mean, yes. And the chemistry was just so brilliant, and we all need a soulmate, don't we? And you seem to have found yours.
Yeah, she's good fun. She makes me laugh. She pretends she's listening to what I say, so if I've got problems and stuff, that we all need it, don't we? We all need somebody that we can sound off to about different things, especially in the music industry where, there's so many things that kind of get on your nerves. And it's been, as a recording artist now, it's been 15 years. And there's been, both with right across the board with my health and also career-wise, there's been peaks and troughs, and it's always good to have somebody to talk to. The music industry has changed immensely in the last 10 years, and you've got to have your eye constantly on the ball and be on guard all the time. I've taken everything in-house and I've started doing it all. I've got my own team at home and my own people that look after business for me now, because it's important to have people around you that you can trust.
What's amazing about you, you've never sold out, you've never done cheap reality to just keep you on the telly. And what I love about you, as you know more than anything, is you have a God-given gift that sustains you in this business. I mean, you're never going to last this long if you're faking it, and so many are. It's still difficult, though, as you say. I mean, you've gone through probably the worst recession, and to get people to pay to see you live is difficult, yet you're still selling out wherever you go. I mean, it's a great compliment, if nothing else.
Yeah, it's a super compliment, and I think one of the things that's kept me going throughout it all is, no matter what's happened, I've always believed that I'm going to see it through. That I'm going to keep going and keep singing, and that's the main thing. Just, I think it's all about its belief. Getting out there and self-belief is crucial.
It's a tough business in a sense. A guy once told me that by the time you've left the car park, they've forgotten your name. And it is kind of true. You have to remind people you're still alive and doing it.
Yeah, it's like I take purposeful breaks. So I might lose myself in the media spotlight for 12 months. And then people all of a sudden start going, oh, what happened to Russell Watson? We don't hear of him anymore. It's only been 12
in that exact voice as well.
Well, maybe some do it in different voices. Well, whatever happened to Russell Watson? He was like all over here in the States, and then he's just kind of disappeared. Well,
they're the people in Wales. Where else in Britain are they using this accent?
I don't know. Maybe he took a self-imposed rest or something.
I mean, I see you from time to time. I think 2 times ago we were at Loose Women, and they're the places I think you do yourself justice, because you prove you've got a sense of humour and you don't take yourself seriously. And frankly, in this business, it's refreshing, isn't it?
You can't take yourself seriously in the industry. I don't buy into all the kind of showbiz circle type thing. It's just not my scene. My friends are the same friends that I've had for years and years and years. I've still knock around with pals from when I was at school, so friends who are like that I've had maybe for 20 years or something like that from school.
I don't know what's creepier, looking at you. Can we cut to the chase?
The odd years.
I've been really nice to you so far, but I've got to talk about facial hair. I'm sorry to do this, Russell, especially because your fans love you so much, but it is a bit, I mean, it'd be nice for a party, perhaps Halloween or something.
I don't know. I was personally going for a kind of D'Artagnan look, so...
It's strange. Is it staying, or is this for some form of bet?
No, I quite fancied a change. I was getting bored with looking at myself. I'm 40, I'm 47 now, and I'm bored of my face. I've lived with it now for such a long time.
But imagine having this face. I mean, really, you've got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, but at least you can laugh at yourself. Mine's just boring.
So the people laughing at me, though, that's the problem. Pantomime. Well, what about Hook at Christmas? You could do that.
No, I want something more like, say the Pirates of the Caribbean or something like. I was hoping for something a bit more glamorous than Hook.
No, I get rid of it. Enough's enough. Let's grow up now. This midlife crisis has got to stop. I mean, it's not even fully formed. Have you actually shaved that, or is that just?
No, I've trimmed it. But there's a little gap here. Can you see it?
Right.
It's the only place where the hair doesn't grow. So there's like an inch gap between that tram line and the beard here.
It's a shame, really. Is there anybody I can get to talk to you about this? Like your future wife, maybe she could talk you out of it?
She doesn't like it, but I don't care. It's a testament to a commitment that she can put up with me with, looking like Hook.
Yes. I tried it once, and my girlfriend said that it chafed on the inner thigh.
Really? Superb. Mine just says it itches her face.
You are getting old. Listen, your youthfulness, I think, is one of the reasons that your fans like you. And of all the people I've interviewed over the years, yours keep coming back to me, say, when are you going to talk to him again? The dedication they've got to you has at the very least got to be humbling, because they've stuck with you and they still care. What happens in this business is most people sort of find a fan base and they grow up and get bored, don't they?
Yeah, well, it's become quite a transient industry as well. So a lot of the stuff that's coming in, it's a bit like, I don't know, it's a bit like when McDonald's release a new hamburger, and it's kind of the in thing at the time, and people buy it a bit, and then when the sales start dropping off, they get another hamburger in and change it. It's become a little bit, the music industry's become a little bit like a conveyor belt. But I think all that will start to change in the next few years.
It appears to me you sort of rise above it, though. You don't need them as much as they need you, because you've got the ability to go out and do live shows. And I've always felt in the business, having talked to a lot of sort of TV stars that try and do pop, is unless you can perform live consistently and well, you ain't going to ever make any money. And that's, of course, the one thing you've got.
I like to think that, that I've kind of got something, I don't know, it's interesting. It's a real tough struggle to sustain a career in the music industry. You need to be more than a singer. You need a good business acumen. You need to be able to keep your eye on the ball. And the most important thing of all, and a lesson that I learned very early on, is you must be nice to people. You must treat people as your equal and never see yourself as anything better than they are. And I just think that's a really good code for life in general anyways.
Well, you're saying that, but you've already implied you're better looking than I am, because you have to do things to your face to make it interesting. I mean, you really need to reevaluate that a little bit.
Yeah, but that's because you were taking the beep out of me.
No, I would never do that.
You were.
I wouldn't dream of it.
You said I should be Hook.
No, well, be given the hook, maybe. I don't know. The last time we spoke was over your album last autumn, which was just beautiful and such a great thing to do. And one of those projects that, regardless of its success or whether anybody else cared, personally, it was such a tribute, wasn't it, that these guys wanted to work with you and only you.
Yeah, it was great fun to make the record with Schomburg and Bublé. And Schomburg produced the record, just so, in case people don't know, he wrote Les Mis. And to work with somebody as legendary, with that kind of status in the industry, I mean, Les Mis is officially the world's most successful musical ever. And to work directly with the man who wrote it is quite a thing. And, it was one of those moments where I just kind of stepped back and watched and listened and learnt a heck of a lot working with one of the masters of his trade.
I started interviewing you, I think around 2000, something like that. We did the first hour for the BBC, which was your first long interview. And I was rubbish in those days. You've gone on and look at me. I'm still sat here doing the same. But never mind. We won't focus on that.
Well, I'm still doing the same.
Yeah, exactly. I suppose we're both in the same boat. But what I felt then is the same I feel now, is that you're not quite aware of how brilliant you are and how successful you are. And I've seen this really in the business. Most people think they're better than they are. Do you ever stand back when you're on stage and sort of watch yourself and hear that sound and think, good God, that's coming out my gob?
I think there's something to be said for this, because the music industry has a habit of keeping you in your box. I don't feel anything special. I feel like I've been given a gift. The gift that I've been given, I want to share with people. And the reason that I want to share it with people is because I see that when I sing, it makes other people happy. It's never been about the money, because I got just the same buzz when I walked on the stage when I was singing in backstreet working men's clubs in front of 20 or 30 people. I got the same buzz, I got the same feeling, I got the same rush of adrenaline when I went on stage. Nothing's changed, apart from the fact that I'm very fortunate and have a great career, and as a result of that, I've done very well out of it. There are people in the music industry that like to that afford themselves the luxury of keeping artists and people that they work with in their place and in their box.
And it's a shame. I mean, the one thing you said there is you make people happy, but I think the difference between you and most artists you'll see in the theatre we're sat in today is that, yes, they make you happy, but you don't sit there going, how the hell does he do it? That's what I'm talking about, the fact that God somehow touched this voice, that it is incredible. You're up there in the top 10 singers, in my view, of all time ever. There aren't many people get that joy of doing it. I wonder whether you know that.
I don't know. I mean, I do get... I get an incredible joy from what I do. I sing for different reasons now than I used to when I first started. I don't really know. It was just pure enjoyment, personal enjoyment. Now I get something more spiritual from what I do, and I genuinely believe that what I have is a gift, and I want to use it in an appropriate way and not waste it by doing, with activities that I shouldn't be undertaking. So I avoid all that kind of rubbish, and I avoid the media for all. I like my own personal privacy. I get criticised for it a lot. He's up his backside and doesn't like to mix with the stars and all the rest of it in some circles. But it's never interested me. I have my friends, I've got my kids who I love to bits, my girlfriend, my family. That's, for me, outside of the music, that's what it's all about. That's more important than anything, actually.
It's interesting you say that. I've never heard anybody say a bad word against you. I'd love them to try as well, because it'd be interesting to hear my reply. But I mean, the one thing that's great about you is your core talent, and the fact that tonight you're selling out this theatre. What have we learned in this interview then? Facial hair is a no-no. We're going to get rid of that, yeah?
No, I'm keeping it. I want to be Hook at the Bradford Alhambra in 2015.
I can make the call for you if you. No, enough with the facial hair. We've learned that you're a genius, that you've sold out again, and anything else I can plug for you? A new single, of course, out for the Soldiers. Again, a great passion of yours.
Yeah, the Home Ground single is something that's really important to me. It's to raise funds for soldiers that have been decommissioned from the army after they've come back from areas like Afghanistan. Soldiers in particular that may have lost limbs, arms and legs, and particularly ones that are wheelchair bound, and just changing fundamental things in their houses, so tailor-making their homes so that they can do simple things like getting through a bathroom door, so widening a door frame by 6 or 7 inches can have a profound difference to somebody's life.
Russell Watson, it's always a delight seeing you. Thank you so much for joining us on the programme. We didn't even get time to talk about the dog, because I know that's your big passion right now and your new love in your life.
My dog? It is, yeah. He's a rescue greyhound. He was actually on one of my photo shoots a couple of years ago. The record was called Anthems, and it was supposed to depict what I wanted from the cover and the inner sleeve was something that depicted anything British. So there was a picture of a red phone box and a Jaguar E-Type and rolling hills with green grass tapestries, that type of thing. And one of the shots I wanted to do was on top of a big hill with me wearing a flat cap with a kind of whippet or a greyhound. Anyway, Gary turned up with this dog. It wasn't a whippet, it was a greyhound. And it had like a coat on it. And just before the dog was about to leave, I said to Gary, can't we just keep him a bit longer? Can you just give the owners a ring and tell him he'll be another half an hour? He said, well, look, the place closes at 5. I've got to get him back. And I went, place closes? What do you mean place? Where's he from? He went, oh, he's a rescue dog. And the dog was sat, well, it wasn't sat because greyhounds don't sit. It was kind of like curled to one side. And it looked up at me with these goo-goo eyes as if to say, come on, Russ, you've been in a position like this, lad. Give us a break. Take us home. So we did, and he's been with us for the last 2 years. And
I remember looking at you like that in the late 90s. You didn't take me in.
I know, but you probably scare the neighbours off. I'm joking. He is the best dog we've ever had. He's absolutely superb, and he's a great guard dog as well. He's very protective.
We all need a best friend. I think I've caused a domestic this evening. We haven't got time to go into it now, but I'm sorry, whatever I've just done that we're going to have to edit out. I'm sorry.
It's fine. No problem.
I've got a feeling this will be the last time we speak, but thank you, Russell Watson.
In the slightest. I love you.